I know y'all probably thinking, what does that really mean? What is Chelsea talking about? Does she love herself? Well, the answer to that is definitely yes. But there's more to it. I'm trying to recognize today the black love that I've been seeing, especially this weekend and all over. So let's definitely showcase that and let's highlight that tonight on Chelsea's Live Line. Let's highlight that black love that we usually don't see. But now it's time to change the narrative. Let's go. Yes, yes. Welcome to another episode of Chelsea's Live Line, and I'm hoping to see y'all in the comments because love is in the air. Yes, it is. It's been in the air, but I really see it going on right now because of the events that have transpired this past weekend. But first, before I get into the topic more, I'm going to start with the word of the day, which is going to be coming from Matthew chapter 19, verses 4 through 6, NIV. And let me just tell y'all before I even get into that, last week I was also in Matthew because I had an episode on Financial Literacy Month, which was last month. And now that it's May, it's time for me to continue in Matthew, but it's going to be a different type of topic today. So we talked about Matthew 25 last week, but now we're in Matthew 19. All right, so verse 4 says, "Haven't you read," he replied, "that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, 'For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two of them will become one flesh.' So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." Again, that's coming from Matthew 19, 4 through 6, NIV. And I want to ask y'all, what does real love take? What does it take to receive and give real love? And that's what I'm going to be answering today because I had the chance to actually see that as I was watching my Saturday service at church. This past Saturday, Pastor Kenlock, who is my pastor, had the opportunity to showcase his wife. He made sure that he didn't care who was there. He didn't care what was going on. He wanted to demonstrate and showcase his love for his wife because it was her birthday. So what I'm going to do is just show you what I learned from that little clip from him showcasing his wife. And I hope y'all are looking forward to doing that as well, watching and learning what real love takes, because real love is what you see behind the scenes. It's not what you see in public, it's also what you do in private. And first I want to get into the first things I learned from his clip before I get into it. The first thing I learned about was sacrifice and compromise. And let me show you the clip relating to sacrifice and compromise from my pastor when he celebrated his wife's birthday here.
Listen before you walk. Listen before you walk. God bless you, parents. Listen before anyone moves another further. I could not go home tonight and rest. Where's that? Where's my other half at? Where's the best half of me? Where's she at tonight? Come on up here. Come on up here. Where's she at? You know, come on up here. Listen, come on up here. Come on up here. Listen, come on up here. Listen. I could not go home and rest tonight without pausing just a moment. I do what I do, and I do what I'm supposed to do in private, but I need to say something in public. For almost 20 years, when I met her, I said, listen, we ain't gonna never be in New York on Thanksgiving or Christmas morning. For birthdays, we've been in church on some special days, and listen, not one time in almost 20 years has she ever thought it robbery. She been my road, ride or die for almost 20 years.
I love it. I love it. That's the beginning part of my pastor showing love to his wife for her birthday. So he mentioned a few things. He told her that, hey, we're not going to be able to spend these special holidays, birthdays out in New York or any other city that you choose because we have to be here and I have to pastor the church on those days. And not once did she consider it robbery. And that's where I wanted to get into the sacrifice and the compromise. Because she had to sacrifice them holidays to be in church, which, hey, to me is a great thing being in a church for your birthday. But sometimes you'd be like, hey, why can't I get that special time? But she didn't care about that. She cared about the fact that she was there to support her husband's dream, his vision that he had. That's that sacrifice and compromise that a lot of people are not considering in today's episode. today's life, today's whatever. I want to give a shout out to my auntie Ebony. I asked everybody, how are y'all doing, fam? And she said, great, baby. How are you? I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. So with that being the case, sacrifice and compromise. We see sacrifice as sin, and we see compromise as control. That's the problem. We don't see these words for what they are. Sacrifice is not a bad thing if you living in your saved season. Sacrifice is not a bad thing if you're living in your saved season. But most of y'all are in y'all single season. Y'all can't respect people who are in their saved season who actually like to sacrifice for the people they love. Next, compromise. Maybe you have to give to receive, right? Give and take. That's how it goes. So you can't be saying, I'm not willing to compromise. I'm not willing to sacrifice. Otherwise, you're not going to be in a relationship, a real one at least, if somebody cares about you. The next thing I want to mention is that sometimes sin can be stronger than you. Don't get too on your high horse that you forget that sometimes sin is going to tempt you. It's going to tempt you to do things that you didn't think were possible because you put too much faith in yourself but not enough faith in God. And that's why I want to let y'all know sometimes sin can be stronger than you. Therefore, we have to realize that we have to sacrifice for others because the distractions that we have can become main attractions, right? And that's what I don't like is the fact that people don't think that distractions can become main attractions, but they can because you don't realize that people are doing that for a reason. The devil is putting that distraction in your way. Even though you think you're strong enough to take it, the devil has a different story for you, okay? And I see these chats. Hey, Cousin Nadia, I appreciate you tuning in. And shout out to That Christian Fam channel. I was just on there live just this past Sunday for 2.5 hours, y'all. Believe it or not. We had Dallas is in the house as well. And That Christian Fam said, no one is made of Teflon. Okay, Teflon Don. You said Teflon Tina's. I remember that on one of your episodes. We all can get touched. Exactly. So with that, we're not inevitable. We're not more, the sin is inevitable, but we're not invincible. Excuse me. The next thing I want to talk about is that Tony Gaskins, his wife, Cherie Gaskins, said that, hey, one time they broke up, but what they did was that Cherie had gave him an ultimatum. She said, if you want to love me again, you want to be in a relationship with me again, you're going to have to sacrifice the selling drugs, and you're going to have to sacrifice going to the clubs anymore. You can't go to the clubs anymore. And let's see what he had to say about this sacrifice.
A guy from my past wants to pursue me, and I told him he needs to sign for a coaching session with you, and that is the only way I would consider giving him an opportunity. He keeps being hesitant, saying he doesn't need it. Well, he doesn't want to be with you then, because whatever your stipulation is, he should, if he really wants to be with you, he'll do it.
You're right, because when she told me everything I need to do, you got to get coaching. My dad is a life coach and he's a pastor, so I ain't had the money. She let me sign up with him, but she made sure I had to talk to him. And he actually taught me how to be a man because he knew, even though he had made mistakes. She told me I got to get back in the church. The next morning, I was in the church and I was at the altar call. You hear me? The pastor put the mic in my face. God rest his soul. And I said, I was in the streets, but now I'm in here. I want to rededicate my life. He said, you want to say anything, young lady? And she said, I'm just up here to support him.
Yep.
And then what did you tell him? Oh, I got to get out the streets.
Yep.
So I called my homeboys. I said, listen, I ain't coming to the club no more. And I can't be in the streets hustling no more. What? Man, you finna do us like that? For a woman? For a chick? I say, hey, bro, you ain't going to see me no more. God bless you.
Right.
Now they look at me today and they like, whoa, that man made it. Right. Because of that sacrifice.
Yes, women have that power. I think that's an influential comment right there. It's enough said right there. I can't say any more than that. Women have that power because he put that sacrifice in for his wife, who was the girlfriend at the time. He said, okay, this is going to be my wife one day, so I'm going to have to let y'all go. And then the homeboys will get mad at that because they said, dang, you're not spending time with me anymore, because they're in their single season. They're in their single season, so they don't appreciate you in your saved season. Okay? And I see some more comments. Shout out to my Aunt Michelle. She said, we have to sacrifice to gain from God. Stay focused. It is worth it. Yes, it is. And we're far from sin. We're not free from sin. We are, it's not inevitable. It will happen for sure. Okay? Next thing I want to talk about is that I'm not single, I'm saved. That needs to be the new cliche saying, okay? I'm not single, I'm saved. And let me tell you why I say this. There's a difference between your single season and your saved season. Single season means that, hey, I'm alone. I have no one. I'm out here doing whatever, whenever, because I don't have an agenda. I don't have a purpose on this earth. That's what single season is. But I'm about to change the narrative for y'all right now. Saved season should be the season you're in. Because when you're saved, you know that you're not single. You're not alone because you have God in a minimum. You have God at a minimum who you are in a relationship with. So saved season means that, hey, I might be by myself, but I'm not by myself because I have God right here on the side of me. I'm in a relationship with him at a minimum. And then when the right person comes, that's when I'll be in a relationship. But until then, stop saying you're single, because you're never without God. You might leave God alone, but God will never leave you alone. So that's the difference. I'm always in my save season. And that's the thing. People don't recognize that. You get out of a relationship and then you're back with these same friends who appreciated you in your single season, but they can't appreciate you in your save season because they want to do toxic things with you. Oh, you changed. You switched up. Don't let your significant other keep you from us. But they were presenting them with toxic things to do while they were in their single season. That's why I tell you, stop saying you're a single season, because a lot of people in their single season think that they can just switch on a light and now they're in their save season. Now they're in a relationship. You cannot switch on a light for somebody. Don't change for them during your single season. Change for you. You got to put the change in yourself, because that's what's going to give you a return on your investment no matter what relationship you get into. People think they have light switch energy, They think that, I can switch on this light and now I'm saved, sanctified, and I'm holy. But just a minute ago, I was trying to go to the club with my friends. I was trying to live my best life and meet different women and meet different men. You can't switch that on and off. You are not DTE, for those who are in Michigan and know who I'm talking about. Y'all are not Thomas Edison. Y'all cannot flip on switches for people, all right? And I see these comments coming in right now, too. Yes, shout out to Daryl King for tuning in. I appreciate you. And thank you. I appreciate that as well. Mine said, I am single until the man tells me God sent me for you. Period. Yes, I see y'all showing love in the comments, because I'm tired of people just saying they're in their single season. You're never single. You're with God. So you're in your save season. If you say that instead, you'll get a better return for your investment, okay? And shout out to Harrison Family Values. He said, hey, yo, we live, driving and listening. That's right. I appreciate all my Christian influencers tuned in right now. I appreciate y'all so much. But yes, at a minimum, you are in a relationship with God, y'all. But let me tell y'all the next thing. Read that there. Some people have to go. Yes, some people have to go, because the biggest thing is that we want to hold on to folks in our single season, knowing that they don't respect us at all in our save season. Like, as soon as we get close to God, some of these friends want to get more of your time. No, I got to fit you in my schedule, because no, I'm giving God most of my time. And then when you start giving friends more of your time, they'll appreciate you more, because you're idolizing them. You're committing that idolatry that God doesn't like, right? And they'll say that you changed. They say all of this. And because of loneliness in one single season, they end up reconnecting with these same toxic people who are being toxic with them. So the next thing I want to get into is, after I've told y'all about sacrifice some more, I want to talk to y'all about Pastor Blake's, who I listen to all the time. He's a Christian pastor, of course. And what he's talking about is the fact that his wife at the time was his girlfriend, and she married him with not much money in his bank. Would y'all do the same thing if y'all had the choice? Watch this.
You esteem, man got to have this and a man got to have that. Like some of you say, well, a man got to have, got to make, 6 figures, 7 figures. Well, I didn't make no 6, 7 figures when Lisa and I got together, when we got married. Lisa was a RN. She was a nurse. She was banking. I was a little broke preacher. I'm bringing my little $750 every 2 weeks home. $750 every 2 weeks. That's what she married. But you see, the thing was and is, that's why there's nothing I have that Lisa doesn't have access to. Lisa has free run of any kind of money. It's not my money, it's our money. There's no money that I make that Lisa she can do whatever she wants to, because Lisa loved me when I was broke. But you see, the thing she fell in love with was the fact that I had a vision, I was working on that vision, and I was bringing home a steady paycheck. I had a work ethic, I had a vision, and I had a grind. And when you have a combination of that in a man, there's no limit to where he can go.
There's no limit when a man has that grind, okay? That grind. He has a steady job coming in. But a lot of women today say, oh, no, he got to be accomplished already. I can't help build him up. You're not supposed to build him up, but you're supposed to compliment him. Okay, you're supposed to compliment him. You're supposed to compliment him in both ways, to be honest. But yes, sacrifice and compromise. We have to realize that these are words. Like, we're not going to be able to get a perfect list of everything we want in a man. Like, we should be looking for those godly quantities, whether it's a woman or a man. But sometimes we're going to have to sacrifice only if it's not a red flag. We can do that, okay? Just realize that. I'm going to read these comments as well. Harrison Family Value says something that's very true here. He says, if you haven't smashed that like button, what you waiting for? Like this video if you learned at least one thing so far, y'all. And then that Christian Fam channel says, change as you age is necessary. Anyone who stays the same as they age and never grows or matures, The clinical definition of that is retarded. Like, it's insanity to just keep doing the same stuff over and over again and expect a different outcome, y'all. And let me just tell you, somebody who ages and then doesn't grow is like, that's a grown boy, that's a grown man. I mean, excuse me, that's a grown boy, that's a grown girl, okay? So that's exactly what that is. I want to tell y'all is that, like I said, this past Sunday, I was actually having the chance to speak on a panel that Jermaine had where he was talking to us about I'm asking you anything. He asked us different questions. One of the questions I'm about to show y'all that I answered was the fact that he asked me, you know, how's my faith? If you can rate your faith on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate your faith? So I'm going to show y'all this clip and show y'all that I was on a panel with all married men. Like, everybody that was on this panel is married. And then Dinah eventually comes in, who is a woman. She comes in and talks about herself as well. But everybody I was on this panel with is married. Okay, so that shows you, I'm like, me not being married, I'm happy to be around people who are married so I can be able to understand what it is to have a biblical marriage. That's the way you do it. You keep hanging around single people, you're going to keep being single. You keep hanging around married people, eventually at some point, you're going to be the one putting a ring on somebody's finger, or somebody's going to be putting a ring on your finger, depending on who you are. So watch this real quick. Let me just show y'all this particular clip I was on with Dre and Harrison Family Values, Jermaine, and a few others.
And I'm going to say what I got to say when everybody else finished. But, man, listen, it gets real.
And let me know if y'all can hear as well.
In these streets, yo. It gets real. But Chelsea, go ahead.
Okay, yes, I definitely agree.
Spectrum, you know, because you're about to, didn't you just turn 25?
On May 10th, so 9 more days.
Okay,
yep, I'll be 25.
My birthday's
Coming
May
soon.
26. My birthday's May 26. He's May baby.
So guys, there's a party May 10th at Chelsea's Live Line, YouTube channel.
I might be DJing for real. I was a DJ at one point in time back in college years. But yeah, with regards to your question though, like when I was in my relationship, I didn't get the chance to get as close to God as I should have been. I'm in my single season right now and I'm learning to put him first. So during the Lent season, what I did was I spent 30 minutes, like for example, just at a minimum of 30 minutes in the Bible app, learning and subscribing to different plans and reading the verse of the day, interacting with other people who also believed in God. So that was one thing I did, and I continue that now. In addition to that, if I'm going to be on Facebook for 20 minutes, I'm going to be on my Bible app for more than that. That's one thing I've learned as well. I'm going to give God more time than I give social media. That's what I've been learning to do because I really want to get away from all the negativity I see on social media and try to flip that with positivity in the Bible app. So that's what I'm doing, just giving him more of my time so we can create a better relationship because I have to be in love with him to be in love with anybody else. So that's how I see it. Chelsea. So for that reason, I will rank myself right now at a 7. Okay, that's what I would give myself. So 7 out of 10, that's what I ranked myself. And that video is called I'm Asking You Anything. So make sure y'all check that out on that Christian Fam channel, okay? And I also want to highlight a particular comment that I saw. I didn't get the chance to respond yet. But a lady from this YouTube channel called Cure for the Soul Ministries. She said, I love the segment within the last 40 minutes. And she talked about how Corey was 100. And she said, thank God for Chelsea. She's so grounded at her age. It's a blessing for others around her age and even older to be inspired to grow closer to Christ. Yes, I am so thankful for that. And I appreciate your comment as well. Because, excuse me, gotta give me some water, y'all. The devil trying to choke me up. I ain't having it though. Hold on. But yes, I'm definitely thankful to be getting a closer relationship to God because it's much needed in this world. The secular world is much needed. All right, let's get back into what else, what is it's love for me. I want to talk about the next thing my pastor did because I talked so far about sacrifice and compromise. But the next thing I want to talk about is the following. Trust and reassurance, because those are two different things. You're reassured if you trust, right? So those are the pair that goes together next. And I want to show you the clip about Pastor Kinlock and what he had to say about trust in his household.
Listen, the trust in that house, I ain't telling you what I got to pretend and play in the pulpit because I don't have it in private. The trust in that house that I can get a call at any time and she don't turn over and wonder whether or not I'm going out to do something that breaches the trust that she's given me.
That is so beautiful to me because when I think about that, most relationships are built on the foundation of trust. If you build your relationship on sand, it's going to sink, right? We heard about that in the Bible. If you build it on a good foundation, good layers, then it'll stand. It'll stand the test of time, right? And that's what I think the biggest thing we have to focus on in our relationships is trust. Making sure you don't give your significant other a reason to not trust you, right? Because you want to make sure you trust them as well. If you have trust, you can sleep good at night. You know, if you have trust, you can sleep good at night. Like Pastor Kenlock said, she don't have to worry about anybody calling at any time. She don't even have to turn her neck or do any of that because she knows that, hey, God's got this relationship. And one thing I learned from Tony Gaskins, who I played earlier with his wife, she was saying the following. She said that if her husband cheated on her, then it's his loss at the end of the day. Like, she's not about to become detective. And I realized that over time as well. I don't get paid enough to become a detective. That's not my full-time job. So therefore, I'm not going to be going in your phone, looking to see who you texting, looking to see who's texting you, any of that. I'm going to trust you and what you say, because if I don't do that, then I won't have a healthy relationship with you. All right. And as we know that sometimes it's like this, it's that representatives, they come at the beginning, real comes at the end or close to it, because, you know, everybody puts on a good front. We call people, we call on the phone, we call a certain company and we say, oh, can I have the representative, please? But sometimes we want the real thing, because that's what's going to give us the better return on our investment. There should be nothing to hide whatsoever. Okay. Yes, definitely. It should be nothing to hide. The next thing I want to talk about is that, like, when it comes to a relationship, there's no such thing as relationship problems. People are bringing, you know, problems into the relationship. And that's one thing Judge Faith Jenkins, I admire. She did that. There's no such thing as relationship problems. We're bringing that in ourselves. And the next thing I want to talk about real quick is just James chapter 1, verse 2 through 3. And it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. If you're not getting tested in your relationship, that means you need to level up your faith, because you will have obstacles. But it, you know, to determine your perseverance, how you deal with those obstacles, right? If you fail the test and you fall short to the sin, then, you know, you got to make sure that you are willing to compromise. You got to make sure that you're willing to sacrifice. Those are all characteristics that you have to possess within inside you during your single season. Don't go out here acting a fool during your single season and expect for God to manifest something great for you in your saved season, because you got to make sure you're putting in the work now to be that husband, to be that wife. You don't become a husband once you get that ring. You don't become a wife once you get that ring. You got to be that before the ring so that great things can happen for you. We know that. And when it comes to the things I've talked about so far, I talked about sacrifice. That's a big one. I talked about trust. Next thing I want to talk about is recognition, because everybody loves recognition. So watch this short clip from my pastor as well, talking about his wife.
Listen, I could not be the pastor and the man I am without God giving me somebody. Listen, she over pastoral care, and she do a great job as the ministry leader.
I love it, because my pastor, we see him wear his wedding ring every now and then, but we didn't know that he had the love that he had for his wife until he showcased it to us, because, you know, he's busy preaching and, you know, doing his pastoral work all the time. But for him to showcase his wife the way he did, I really salute him, because a lot of men, you know, they may show love to you in private, but they're not showing that love to you in public. So I love the fact that he was giving her recognition. Every woman wants recognition. That's what you have to realize. And every man wants it as well. Because I talked about one of my previous episodes, I said, is black love even a goal anymore? And I think I can reassure that it is today. I can reassure you that it is today, because I just this past weekend with this particular service that I attended, I saw so many episodes of it. And like I said, I was just on a panel full of married men. So that alone shows you that black love is still a goal. It's still a goal. And that's why I told you I wanted to be a wife, and I want to be a wife. So I'm communicating with other godly minded Christians, godly, you know, married Christians, so I can learn that. And just realize that God takes us through certain seasons in our lives, right? One may be an expert in one area, but an amateur in the other. So just realize who you're getting advice from when it comes to your relationships, because we sometimes go to the wrong people. I'll go to my single friend because they have good advice, but they're not stable in a relationship. They're always coming in and out of relationships. So do you really think that's someone you should be getting advice from? I think not. And we can try to look up to others who we think are right, you know, for communicating, but in all reality, you know, they're lacking, right? They are lacking. So the next couple of things I want to talk about to y'all real quick is the celebration aspect. I want to show y'all the clip of my pastor celebrating his wife, and then go into the appreciation phase. We have to celebrate our significant others to make sure that we acknowledge them, because over time we can get complacent, and then, you know, we stop appreciating them. We stop doing the things that we did to get them. So let's celebrate our significant others. Watch this clip.
I want y'all to help me celebrate her. This is her birthday tonight, and I need y'all to help me let her know that I don't just love her, but we love her here at Triumph Church. Come on, would y'all help me do that? Come on, come on. Come on, yeah, you carry it forward. Come on, come on. Would y'all help me sing happy birthday? Come on, Come on.
really want to take offense at a day in your celebration.
Come on. We getting ready to go baptize. Come on. Y'all say it for me one time.
Be a great time that we can set aside to show how much we love you. And I'm sure you would agree it would fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to see. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I love that. I love to see my pastor happy. I love to see First Lady happy, because that's some things we just don't see too often. We hear a lot of scandals. That's what he said at the end of the service. He said, y'all would be talking much louder if it was a scandal going on in the church. But now that we're showing y'all what real love is, y'all kind of quiet. And that's the thing. We love to emphasize what's going wrong, but we can't celebrate what's going good. So I just salute my pastor for showcasing his wife for her birthday, right? And the last thing he said is like he recognized her. He celebrated her. That's one thing he did. But then he showed that he appreciated her. It was more than him. He said, this is my better half. Okay? He loves this woman, right? And he didn't care where he was at, who he was around, or, who he's talking to, because he was determined to showcase his wife. So watch this last clip and we're going to discuss it before I get out of here. This is about the appreciation.
Listen, in this life, God could fix it so that you got to go through it solo. But I thank God almost for 20 years, all my laughter, and even the times I cried, I didn't have to do it by myself. Thank you for being the best. Amen. Come on, help me give it up for this foxy, fine, voluptuous, sassy, sophisticated, sagacious sister. Come on, Robin Kinlock. All right, I got a couple more things. Oh Lord, listen. I don't forgot what I forgot what I was up here to do. Lord have mercy. Is it my birthday?
I gotta tell you, my pastor, he's something else, but I really just love the black love that I see right there, that hopefully y'all saw as well, because those are the steps to black love, real black love, y'all, not the ones that's just fronted in the public. A lot of people are idolizing these celebrities and claiming that love and hip hop is real black love, and whoever else you can think of is real black love, but this is what I see as my example of what black love looks like, y'all. Yes. I think it's very important that we recognize that, okay? And let me just go over, again, what does real love take? It takes sacrifice. Yes, you're going to have to give and take. You're going to have to give and take. Sacrifice, compromise with each other, okay? The next couple of things is just trust, reassurance, because without trust, there's no foundation. There's no foundation that's going to last, at least. Next, recognition. We have to recognize each other for what our rights are instead of focusing so much on the wrongs. Celebration. Yes, celebrate each other's birthday like it's your own. Celebrate each other's accomplishments like it's your own, okay? Lastly, appreciation. If you appreciate each other, then there's nobody else that can distract you. When distractions come in, be Stevie Wonder to it, okay? For real. That's the key. So again, my aunt said that it's wonderful for a man to show grace for his wife. Awesome. Yes. And I just love that it's a biblical marriage and they're going on. They have a great job with what they got going on. So make sure that you like this video, that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll be back next week with another episode, and that episode is going to be about my friend Demaya J. Smith, because she was in foster care. So she's going to be talking about her journey, my future through foster care. Right? So that's what she'll be talking about next week. So make sure y'all tune in, because this month is National Foster Care Month. So I'll make sure to highlight topics that people really don't talk about. So she'll talk about her journey through the foster care system. And I hope that y'all celebrate y'all mothers for Mother's Day, because it's coming up real quick. My birthday's on May 10th, so I may be doing a future collab with Harrison Family Values on my birthday. So we'll be talking about that. And my aunt said, thank you, Chelsea, for what you do. Blessings. I appreciate it, y'all. I appreciate y'all for having me. I'm out. And I will be seeing y'all next week on another episode of Chelsea's Live Line. It's the love for me.